so we just got through talking about the 3 different preference levels, the E and I, the S and N, and the T and F. Now we're going to move to the J and the P. And we're going to start with brand new definitions. The J stands for judging, but it is not judgmental. And especially in our faith-based environment, judging is talked a lot about in the Bible. This is not the biblical definition of judging. It's a brand new Myers-Briggs definition. So, perceiving does not mean perceptive. Both of these have to do with how we orient ourselves to our outer world, how we want to structure the world that we live in. And so judging is one side of the dichotomy, perceiving is the other side. So now that we have brand new definitions, write down judging, that will be signified by a J, and perceiving, that we'll use the P for. Are you ready? We're going to talk about how we like to organize our outer world. So the judging types likes to control their environment. They're very structured, everything in its place and a place for everything. They are very oriented towards details and towards deadlines. So you give a judging type a project, they want to get right on that project, they want to work that project, they get their creativity early on in the timeline, and then they want to finish it, close it, and move on. Judging types like decisions for the sake of making a decision. Most judging types, and remember we're doing the extreme, so an extreme judging type, not only do they like a list, but they'll want to prioritize the list, and they may even have a list to prioritize the list and a list of the list of prioritizations. I mean, they like lists. Have I said that already? Plans are important to judging types. They want to work a plan. A plan is meant to be worked. Whereas the perceiving types are more open, spontaneous, spur of the moment, open-ended. They are not about controlling their environment. They're all about experiencing their environment. So a list of a list of a list would totally stifle the creativity of a perceiving type. The perceiving types will get their list done. It's just that their list may be in their mind, not on a piece of paper. They are not oriented towards deadlines. They want to wait till the last minute, because in the last minute is when their creativity levels are the highest. So if you want to get the best out of people, the judging types, the best from these people come at the beginning of a timeline. The best of the perceiving types comes at the end of the deadline. So biases. Let's talk about biases. Perceiving types believe the judging types are control freaks. Maybe they are. Did I say that? Perceiving types thinks the judging types are control freaks. Not necessarily, but they do want to be in control of their environment. The judging types thinks the perceiving types are the procrastinators and that they're late with everything. Not necessarily the case either. A judging type can be late and can procrastinate if they've overloaded their schedule. The perceiving types want to do, and most times will do everything on time, but it's right on time, not early. So let's talk about going to an interview. A judging type wants to go to an interview, and if they get there 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes early, they're going to sit down, take a deep breath, and go, I'm on time. I'm early. I'm comfortable, and they'll just relax, be stress-free. The perceiving types, they will be on time for that interview, but if they get there much more than 5 minutes early, they're going to be looking at their watch saying, I could have gotten that next thing done. I could have got a load of laundry done. I am wasting my time sitting here waiting on this interview. Just the difference in the way they orient their outer world. So a perceiving type may have a plan, but chances are they're the only one that recognizes the element of the plan. Where the judging type has a plan that they want to execute, and it is all about the plan. And quite frankly, their plan will look like a plan to anybody who wants to look at it. So you walk into a judging office, somebody that prefers judging in their outer world, walk into the office of a perceiving. They like to have an open, flexible environment around them. And both of these would very likely be able to hand you whatever piece of paper you want off their desk. But the judging's desk would be very clean, might not have a single pile of papers on it at all. If there is a pile of papers, it's going to be neat and orderly. In order. The perceiving type's probably going to have different stacks of paper, could have lots of stacks of paper, but you walk in and say, okay, I need that schedule for next week's team meeting, and the perceiving type will dig around in their little piles a little bit, and they'll say, here it is, where the judging type will go right over, pick it up, and say, here it is. Same results, but it doesn't look the same, and the way they structure their outer world is not necessarily the same. Walk into a perceiving type's closet, and it might just look like chaos if you're a judging type. But once again, that chaos means something to the perceiving types, and they know where everything's at, and they're quite comfortable with that perceived chaos. You walk into a judging type's closet, and very likely all their slacks are together, color-coded, all the blouses are by links together, the dresses will be together, the suits will be together, the shoes all have a place, probably color-coded, and you walk in and you see instant organization. Perceiving types are organized, it just doesn't look like it. Just two differences. So, want to plan a vacation. The perceiving type are the type that'll come in on a Friday night and say, pack your bags, we're going. Well, where are we going? I don't know. We'll figure it out along the way. The judging type will go, wait a minute, I've got to have 2 weeks to pack. You know I can't pack overnight. And I want to know when we're leaving, what time we're leaving, what day, and I want to know where point A is, where point B is, and the timeline in between. So another thing that happens between judging and perceiving types, so we're on vacation in whatever method we plan it, but we know that we're going to go to point B next. The judging type wants to go to point B, straight line, no deviations. I'm at point B and I'm right on time. The perceiving types want to be on time, may possibly be on time, but if along the way they see a landmark that they haven't seen yet and they want to deviate to go see that, they will give up their timeline schedule for the sake of going and experiencing that new landmark and be perfectly comfortable with it. So, you want to talk about potential for some conflict? Let a judging type extreme and a perceiving type extreme attempt to plan out a vacation together. Now, it can be done. Remember with the Myers-Briggs, there is no personality type better than another. There are no groupings, one personality type being grouped or being married to another that doesn't work and can't have fireworks and be the best thing ever. That's the theory between Myers-Briggs. The understanding of our differences, first and foremost, brings us the confidence that it is quite okay for me to be whichever of the dichotomies I am, but I value what the other side brings to me. So biases, as I mentioned, perceiving types thinks the judging types are control freaks. the judging types thinks the perceiving types are going to be late to everything they go to. When we get educated and we understand the true nature of our behaviors, then we're much more tolerant. And then this is what you'll find with these two preferences. The perceiving type says, I want to be more like them. I wish I had more structure. I wish I valued timelines more than I do. The judging types will look at the perceiving types and say, I need to be around them because I have more fun when I'm around them. I'm so structured that I don't get outside of my box, and they get me outside of my box. So it's the value of our differences that comes together and makes the whole even better. So let's talk about maybe in a work setting or school setting. The judging types appreciates and values an agenda. The perceiving types, while they will go by an agenda, they'll use an agenda, those agendas in and of themselves are very confining to them, and it has a tendency to stifle their creativity. So when you're getting together and you've got your group, when you understand what personality types they have, you know how to structure your agendas. You know how to prepare and allow your participants to prepare for your meetings so that it meets the needs and all parties involved can be their best possible self. And that's the value of these Myers-Briggs, and it's the value of understanding the J's and the P's and how we want to structure our outer world. So hopefully this is going to help you, and by now you probably have a pretty good indication of whether you prefer the judging preference or you prefer the perceiving preference, and you can write that down on your piece of paper. Thank you.